What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a tremendous, tooled out, turned up Taco Tuesday. It's me and it's Casey Merritt. We're without Justin tonight. He said he had a migraine. I think it's because of the way that the Bruins have been playing. How are you doing today, Casey?
Well, aside from the Bruins, I'm doing good.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely talk a little puck. We'll talk a little puck, but first thing I think we got to get into, man. This I don't know if it was this. Yeah, I think it was this time last week. It was a 2-0 series. Minnesota was, excuse me, Denver on the ropes,
Was
two
looking
zero
dead in the water.
looking dead in the water, man. And every conversation we've had in our group when I've been talking about the Celtics in the finals, I've been referencing Minnesota as their opponent. And I got to give it to you. You've been somebody I've thought Denver was cooked, and you're like the defending champs. No, they're not. Oh, a shout out to Jason. He straight up said that that Denver would come back and win both games. But dude, it's a series now, man. How what are you feeling about that one on that series?
So I don't want to say it was expected just
Mhm.
because of how well that Minnesota looked first and foremost over the course of the whole playoffs, right? But then of course through these first two games, they looked by far the superior team. They looked more athletic, they looked sharper, they looked stronger defensively than Denver did in the first two games. But Denver has put their foot in the soil and they have truly showed their grit of being the defending champions. I'm disappointed that we thought the series was over. I didn't necessarily think it was over, but I was starting to question Denver.
They're on the
And
ropes.
they were on the ropes, and it kind of fed back to what you were saying about them, Ian, where you were like, I kind of see them as like a Spurs type team, where I don't think they're going to go back to back, but I can see in being once every 2 years, once every 3 years that they end up getting another one, which made sense at the time. But the way they've looked over the past two games to go into that hostile environment down 0-2 and just absolutely take control of both games is nothing short of sensational. Nikola Jokic has looked like his MVP self. And I'm gonna say this. Jamal Murray, he's been playing great. He hasn't been the second best player in this series. You know who has been? Aaron Gordon. As far as an overall aspect of the game, Aaron Gordon's been phenomenal defensively. He
Who'd
has
you say is
been
number one?
Jokic
Oh yeah, okay.
as far as on Denver, it's Jokic,
Yeah,
no
yeah, yeah.
question. But you would typically think if Jokic is going to be the best player, Jamal Murray, his running mate, would be the second best player in the series.
Or
That
even
hasn't been,
MPJ.
or even I'd put MPJ right behind Gordon as far as impactful players in this series for Denver. They have been phenomenal these past two games. I'm thoroughly impressed. And if Minnesota does not come out of this hole tonight and come out of Denver with a win, this might be ending in six because Denver's already shown, hey, doesn't matter the stipulations, doesn't
I
matter the
agree.
situation. We can go in and take this dub. The question is now, can Minnesota rise to the occasion after losing two games and show their grit? And I think they might be a little bit too green for it, Ian. I don't know if they're ready. I could easily see this
Mhm.
being a 20-point win for Denver tonight.
Dude, I mean the thing is, man, like when you talk about dead on the ropes, we saw the sequence that everybody kept replaying in game 2 of McDaniels and God, who was it? It was McDaniels, and I want to say either Nikhil Alexander Walker or Conley. Okay, but they were just harassing Murray down the court, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean at that point that was the illustration of how the series had gone. But now, you allow them to come into your place and pick up two wins. I mean, I like, Anthony Edwards, a company. They don't seem like they're panicking, but it's a best of three now, and Denver has home court. Like, I like Minnesota, man, but I feel like I'd almost be a fool for not going with the defending champs, especially because we just see, excuse me, Minnesota get thoroughly outplayed. And we'll definitely come back to this series in a second. But shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. Went on the road last night. I was talking to my little brother after the game because I guess he was hooping at the time. He was shocked to hear that they won, and they were just getting absolutely cooked by Dallas, bro. And double
So
was
I fell asleep after the third quarter. And I woke up, I was like, oh, Dallas definitely won that game. Nope.
crazy, man. It's one of those things to where it. I don't know, man. It's Oklahoma, and now we talk about best of 3 series. Now it's the best of 3 series, and Oklahoma City has home court. Like I said it right after the Mavericks got Gafford that they were going to be better, and they have been.
They haven't.
But
Absolutely.
but that being said, man, like I mean, Oklahoma City's looking good.
And
If Shea could play MVP,
Shout out to PJ Washington too. He's playing the best basketball of his career.
yeah, dude, that dude, and that was kind of what we were talking about last night, man. Every time a reputation can definitely stay with you for a long time. Like I still think of, I wonder how much of that new contract when he gets it is he gonna have to send to Brittany Renner for that child support. But he's great, man. Like he's the toughness of that team, bro. I mean, we saw that standing on business. All they made the T-shirts for the fans against the Clippers in the first round. Like they're good, bro. But now it's a best of 3 in Oklahoma City. Chet Holmgren, that dude is tough. Looks like Abraham Lincoln, but he was. You know, Abraham Lincoln is 6'4".
So I did actually, yeah. But anyways, here's what would concern me for Dallas, right? How well or how long can PJ keep up playing this well?
I wouldn't be too concerned if I'm Dallas. And the thing I'd be more concerned about is that I'm Dallas is that I have to win at least that I have to win 2 out of 3 against Oklahoma City. I wouldn't be. Yeah, Dallas is a good team. I don't think they're worried about they have the confidence and they can that they're good enough. I think.
I get that, but he's not going to keep shooting 57% from 3.
That's insane.
Like that's just not a realistic number.
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, they're having guys like Lively and all these guys just come in and just contribute and just make big plays. Like, I think, bro. I mean, the crazy thing is all the series are 2-2 right now.
Not all of them.
Yeah, they are. New York, Indiana's 2-2. They played tonight. Midi and Denver is 2-2. They played tonight.
Oklahoma City, Dallas is 2-2.
Sorry, sir. Celtics are up 3-1.
Yes, they are. How dare you disrespect my Celtics like that?
Well, the Celtics, the Celtics sometimes they disrespect the game of basketball by just falling asleep at the wheel. Because, dude, it's like when I was saying yesterday, and also before we get to that, David Chinzo is only plus 750 on my book. William Hill, how do you do? Can I get some better odds, please, for first basket? Sorry. But yeah, I just think it's gonna be like Boston. We just haven't seen them tested. Like it's like they look great.
They
but
were tested last night.
I mean, they were tested, but are they tested against a team that? Okay, as we were talking about earlier, like if there's one team that at their absolute best, if both teams play their absolute best, I know you think Boston would probably win, but it's Denver. Like Denver is the only team that can beat Boston when Boston's playing at a very high level. But I don't know, man. Just like those little lapses, bro. They had no Donovan Mitchell last night. That game should have been over at halftime.
You think LeBron being in the building brought some spark to Cleveland?
Yeah, it did. I think it did, but they have no Donovan Mitchell. I don't give a shit. They had Michael Jordan come in.
Here's the thing, right? So when it came to what Boston did last night, I know we're supposed to be talking about Denver, so I don't want to get too deep into it because we will talk about the Boston series. Because I want to hear your take on Denver and Minnesota too, because you didn't really give a full one yet. But what is kind of like what I was talking about last night. Boston would go and get a 10 to 12 point lead, kind of lollygag around for 10 minutes, and the Cavs would cut it to 4, cut it to 3, and then Boston would bring it back up to 10 and 12.
But like Justin was saying, you can't do that.
No, you can't. I agree. That's not the route that I want them taking during the course of these playoffs. But to me, it shows that they're able to turn it on when they want to. But I don't want them thinking they can do that against a Minnesota, against an OKC, against a Dallas, against a Denver. Hell, maybe even against a Pacers team if they're clicking that night. I'm not worried about the Knicks anymore just because I think they're spent.
Dude, that game Sunday was absolutely that team. Now, I will say this game 5 tonight in New York is going to be the biggest basketball game in that city since 1999. Like
that crowd is going to go wild.
It's a thing, like, that is the only reason I haven't completely written the Knicks off. But bro, I mean, when you watch the game, Indiana's flying all over the place. You have Pascal Siakam kind of doing whatever he wants. Andrew Nembhard. I mean, hell, if Andrew Nembhard didn't hit that absolutely insane shot the other night, we might be having a 3-1 series, right? Like, you were saying, the Knicks are spent, but it's a 2-2 series. Like, it's still a best of 3 with New York having home court advantage. I don't know, man. The Pacers are playing insane right now, though. Insane.
They are. They absolutely are.
Both sides.
I agree with you that I'm giving the Knicks that leeway that they're at home tonight, so they may be able to find that spark and get the win. However, if the flip side of that occurs and they lay a dud and the Pacers come out with the W tonight, it's over in 6.
So they're not winning, and you think they have no chance to go to Gainbridge Fieldhouse and win a game?
Not a chance. Not a chance. I do. If they win tonight, I could see them closing it out in 6 because they'll have that momentum. They'll have that fortitude of, okay, we need one more and the series is over, and they might build up. They'll probably can push it out, right? But if they lose tonight, it's a wrap. Put wraps on it like a mummy. It's over. Over.
Now, who do you think is the better team out of the two? That's a question for you.
The Knicks.
You think so? With no Mitchell Robinson?
Yeah, I think Mitchell Robinson's been a huge loss. He's their best paint defender by 40% million years. Like, it's not even close. Like, he's
40% million years. You swung and missed with that one. Goddamn.
I did. I don't even care. Like, that's how much of the good paint presence he is compared to literally anyone else on the Knicks.
Yeah. And I'm kind of with you, man. I think if the Knicks win tonight, I don't think the Knicks are good enough to go into Indiana down 3-2, win, and even if they somehow won in Indiana after losing tonight. Like, it goes back to what we were saying before. Sometimes playing at home in Game 7 or in a big game, it could be more pressure. Like, you don't think fucking Spike Lee and Rob Schneider and damn Ben Stiller sitting courtside. That place is going to be rocking. Like, the Pacers, I think, are just a better team. They're better. I mean, with the exception of what? The point guard position? I mean, I guess you can go the shooting guard, but Siakam is better than, it's Miles Turner is better than anybody than they have down there right now. So
absolutely,
I don't know.
Absolutely. And here's the thing that I've picked up from watching this series when it comes to the Knicks and the Pacers, Ian. And I don't mean to keep calling you out for this take. I really don't, and I apologize that I keep doing it. Boston would sweep the Knicks. They have nobody that is going to stop Tatum or Brown going into the paint. Nobody. They're too small. Without Mitchell Robinson, they have nobody that's going to stop Tatum or Brown from going to the cup. The only thing that would stop Boston from winning that series in 4 is if Boston decided they wanted to shoot 53s and they kept missing them.
Which is definitely possible for Boston. But yeah, I'm kind of with you because
it's possible. But am I wrong? Who on the Knicks is stopping Tatum or Brown from getting to the basket?
The crazy thing, and I had heard this a couple of days ago, and I sorry, I almost disregarded it because I thought I was hearing things. Through the first 2 games, give me 1 second. Through the first 2 games, Brunson was shooting like 60% from the field, or 64% from the field, 59% from 3. DiVincenzo was shooting over 60%. Like, it was something crazy like that. And I think it was Paul Pierce earlier. It might not have been Paul Pierce, but that's not sustainable. Like, you can't, especially against a team as athletic and energetic as Indiana, bro. Ever since Halliburton, I kind of liked him when he was with the Kings a little bit. My nephew was a big Halliburton fan. Shout out Cohen. But I mean, I didn't think he'd turn into this, bro. And that he has that team rolling. Like, he is the maestro. And I mean, and they're not losing in front of Caitlin Clark with a chance to close out the series. Shout out Caitlin Clark playing in her first game tonight.
So you're in agreement that if the Knicks lose tonight, they're probably going to lose in 6, though, right?
I'm not a betting man. Yeah. I it's very, like, the Knicks, they were the 2 seed, but somebody, like, this kind of how I've been feeling it, and I saw there's a few other Knicks fans echoing the sentiment. They're really not a 2 seed Like they're not scaring anybody. That's the thing about the Knicks. I don't think the Knicks are scaring anybody. The Knicks would put zero fear into Boston. Indiana would put a more fear, I think, than well, Boston's gonna be at home regardless, and and Cleveland's not winning that series.
No, God, no. That series ends tomorrow. I think you agree with that. It ends tomorrow in Boston.
LeBron has a better chance of taking the Memphis Grizzlies to the finals.
Yeah, that series ends tomorrow. See, Justin kept talking about back to the Boston series real quick. Oh, I want them to blow them out. I want them to blow them out. That blowout's coming tomorrow. Boston is winning by 25 plus tomorrow. I guarantee it. Mark it down.
Dude,
Boston's winning by 25 plus tomorrow.
Is it like okay, now you're a huge Boston fan. Like, what is it that causes you guys to just completely? I mean, I don't know if I would call it foot off the pedal, but I mean, I guess that's kind of what it is, right? Like, there's just something about the substitution Missoula's making. Their lacks, I mean, you'll see them just mindless turnovers, just like they don't give a shit. Like last night, I don't know if it was Pritchard, somebody just mindless turnover, dribble the ball off his foot just right to the other team, dude. Like,
this is gonna sound so bad when I say this, and it's almost a detriment to them, the way that I'm gonna word this. Boston knows how good they are. They know Cleveland can't beat them. Like they know that. And so I think what they're doing at times, not the court, of course they put their foot on the pedal when needed, but this is going to sound like such a cop out, and I'm so sorry for saying this. I think at times they get in their head that they don't want to get injured. So they kind of take their foot off the gas to a certain extent where, oh, I'm not going to go in between two defenders and go up for this board. I'm not going to crash and try to take two men on and go to the cup. Like, I don't want to get hurt for the next round. I think that's a little bit what's happening. And I know that's such a cop-out answer, but I really think that in the finals and maybe into the next round, you're going to see a difference in that. Come on, don't score. No.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, I'm watching this shit too. Who fucking scored? Wow, it's 4-0 Pacers. Fucking DiVincenzo, you motherfucker. He didn't even get the chance. We didn't even get the chance to score the first basket, Casey. God damn.
Welcome to our betting lives, Ian.
Yeah, oh yeah, and also, welcome Casey to the betting community. I told him this shit is faux life. I think he took Tatum to hit the first three, was it Tatum to hit the first three and then Okoro to hit the first two?
Yeah,
something like that?
First field goal, yeah.
But no, yeah, going back to Boston, and I don't think that's necessarily a cop-out answer. I think that's legitimate because I definitely think there's some teams out there that's doing it. I don't think that that have done it. I don't think Boston's necessarily doing it right now. But, I mean, I would
Then what do you think it is, Ian?
I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, because a few shows ago, I said, like, damn, I don't never want to be the guy that says Boston's not going to win because I know they're not going to win. When, everything that we've seen that they've put on the floor with the energy of Drew Holiday and the addition of Porzingis and the different statistical categories that they're number one in just about everything offensively, it's just something about them, bro. Now, Tatum.
See, you're realistic with it because you say the negative things about them, but then you also acknowledge that when they're on, nobody's gonna beat them.
Nah, not even the bro. I don't even think even Denver. Like Denver stands the best chance when they're both of their A game. But man, that team is too good, bro. Like but I mean, you think about it like this. Like Tatum, okay, he shot 100% from the line 3 different times this series. Cool, he's hitting his free throws. This man is shooting 6 for 26 in the series. The Heat series, he shot 9 for 31 from 3, I should say, 9 for 31 from 3. Now, the reason I'm getting around to that is we're 2 series in and Tatum can't even crack 30%. I think 6 for 26. I think that was like 19. I don't remember what it was, but it's very low.
That's fair. You could do that about his 3-point shooting, sure. But his overall game has been phenomenal. Like, he's playing great defense. He's rebounding really well. He's assisting really well. And he's cracked 32 straight games. Like, for the first 6 games of the playoffs, he didn't hit 30 once. He's done it 2 games in a row now.
That's fair. But the main thing I was getting around to that point is last year when they got eliminated by Miami, Tatum shot 23% in that series. Like, like you were saying earlier, Boston, like, the only way they'd lose one game in the series probably is if they just Tatum jacks up 53 or if they jack up 53s and they just miss all of them. When you look at Tatum's shooting percentage from the outside in the play, like Tatum is playing amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like that man is playing top 3 or 4 out of anybody in the play, especially the last 2 games, bro. Like he's hot. Like you said, 33 last 2 games after not hitting it once up until this point. But like you gotta shoot better because you're not. I mean, you can be up against Denver the whole time, or Minnesota the whole time, or Indiana the whole time.
Absolutely.
By Knicks, but when you're not, like that's unacceptable for your best guy to be shooting like that.
No, I agree, and I agree he has to shoot better. But what I like about this is he understands that he's in the shooting slump right now, so he's attacking the basket more. He's taking his mid-range jump shots more, and he's hitting those. Like, he's not being dependent on the 3 shot coming around. He's maturing in other assets of his game and showing those on the floor, which is what it takes when you're a great player and you're struggling in something. Don't get me wrong, I am not comparing Jason Tatum to LeBron. But take the 2015 playoffs when LeBron was shooting like 22% from 3 the whole finals. He didn't rely on his 3 and use his natural ability to attack the basket and score in the paint and get to the line. That's what Tatum's doing. The first one against Golden State, that whole playoff run, LeBron was shooting terribly from the 3.
Oh, when they were out, when Dellavedova was their second best player that year.
Yeah, yep, that's the one when Kevin Love and Kyrie were out.
No, I get that.
Was shooting terribly from the 3, but he didn't let it affect him, and he, use other aspects of his game to still get points, and that's what Tatum's doing now.
No, you're good. I mean, you don't really have to explain yourself because I know you were comparative to LeBron, but I mean, even if you were, I mean, in this scenario, like Tatum is gonna have to play like LeBron, was playing at an all-world level.
Yeah, no, Tatum's not doing that. No. But...
Well, no, I'm not. No, what I was getting to say is like I think it's a good comparison because LeBron had to be the best player on the court. And you're just making comparisons to him and LeBron. I was totally fine. I actually thought that was a good comparison. Like I think for Tatum has to be the best person on the court for Boston if they win the series, if they're going to win a championship. That's what I was getting down to.
No question. And he doesn't have to against Cleveland. We know that, but he may not even have to against Indiana or the Knicks. Like he may not have to be. But when it gets to be Denver, when it gets to be Minnesota, maybe even Dallas. To be honest, I wouldn't be that worried about OKC. They're too young. I'm not saying they would collapse. I hate that word, but they just wouldn't be ready.
That's fair. I mean, because the thing is, man, like they're just really a team of really solid role players behind Chet and really behind SGA. But I mean, yeah, they're young.
Chet's an all-star in the making. Let's not kid ourselves.
Yeah, no, Chet is gonna be one of those guys. Same way Cooper Flag is gonna be, but I don't know, man. It's just like
I think Cooper's gonna be better than Chet. No offense to Chet,
dude. The thing, and I love Cooper. I've watched Cooper Flag a few of his games. It's like he looks amazing, but I mean, are we throwing around the word? Like, okay, and that's just kind of segue. We're obviously gonna come back to the playoffs because that's all that we're talking about right now. Go basketball. But do you think Cooper Flag is generational?
I don't think we can answer that yet. I don't think that's not a fair question for him yet. Let's see what he does at Duke before we even start to, because even say he plays phenomenal at Duke, right? I'm by no stretch am I saying Zion's a bust, but Zion hasn't lived up to the expectations simply due to injury.
Right.
Since
I was gonna put that in there.
Simply due to injury, because when Zion's on the court, he's great. But I don't think anyone's ever put Zion in the top 10 players in the league in their rankings, ever.
No. I mean, but yeah, that's the thing, too. Like you said, like Zion, like he had that. I don't know, man. Like Cooper, like the way he moves, his basketball IQ, he's amazing. But I think generational, like I want to say it's an overused. Maybe it is an overused word, man, because generation, like. Who, when you think of basketball players, who's generational? Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, LeBron, Curry,
Kobe.
I mean, is Chris Paul generational?
No.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like Chris Paul's the best. I mean, we call him the point guard. He's the best point guard. Well, whatever. We're not gonna have that debate, but arguably
he's
the best
one of the
point
best pure point guards of all time.
Right, but generational, it's like generational has to be something to where you are going to look back 30 years from now and like, holy shit, I wish I got to watch that guy play.
Yeah,
Well, Chris Paul's in a different way because he's more of a pure basketball fundamental great hand.
Like if you're talking about
right.
basketball purists, they may say he's generational, but he's
right,
not.
Fair, right. You know, I guess right. If you're just talking about from a pure, but point I'm making is just I don't know, man. I feel like that word gets thrown around a lot. Now, like Connor Bedard, that kid is generational.
Yes.
Caleb,
Connor Bedard, Connor McDavid,
Caleb Williams.
No way can we say that yet.
I mean, okay, yeah, Connor McDavid for sure. I mean, when do you think
Wemby?
Yeah, Wemby for sure. Dude, Wemby, every time I watch that guy play, bro, I find myself like looking up, like just like, oh my God, like what the fuck is that? Because dude he's a creative player. That's the perfect way to describe him, bro. That's exactly
he's like
the guy.
When you're creating a player and you max out every set. He's just a 99.
Including the height.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Dude, he's 7'4", bro, and he's like the primetime game against Giannis earlier this year. Like, dude, he was not only holding his own, he was getting the better of Giannis at some points. Like, that dude is gonna be insane.
Would you consider Giannis generational?
That's a very good question. No, I mean, there's nothing
That's why the term, like you said, gets thrown around too much.
That's a good example to kind of lead into your for sure, because it's one of those things like LeBron is generational. Like generational is a guy that you are going to see once or maybe twice in some rare eras. Like Bird was generational. Bird was not just for what he could do on the basketball court, but he was the great white hope. Him and Magic saved the NBA. But generational, yeah, Bird did literally everything. Magic, 6'9" point guard. We still haven't really seen anything. I mean, people want to say LeBron. We really haven't seen anything what Magic did since. I mean, when are we really going to see another Steph Curry? In our lifetime, like, do you think we're going to see a shooter better than Steph Curry? I don't think so.
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. Now, here's the thing, Ian. You kind of brought up my next point, not my next question, not my next point. Is Steph Curry a generational shooter or a generational player?
He's a generational player. I mean, he's obviously a generational shooter, but I mean, Steph Curry is just
a generational player, though. Is he?
I mean, but shooting is part of the game, and he makes more. And
Absolutely.
And he has two MVPs, a Finals MVP. Like, I mean,
I agree. With
okay,
you.
What's your take on it? What's your take on it?
Here's the thing. I agree with you that he's a generational player, but I can see the argument to people say why he wouldn't be. Just because of his, I don't want to use lack of defense because he has some good moments defensively, but he's not someone that's going to go lock you down if you need a stop. And I think when you use the term generational player, they kind of need every facet of the game to be considered that generational. I can see how that argument could be made.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, they definitely need to get it done on both sides of the ball. You can't, but at the same time, like, do you really? I mean, generational, not just for the way that he shoots the ball, the way that he moves off the ball. His handles are great. I don't know,
Absolutely.
but I guess
he's a generational scorer, just above shooter, just a generational scorer. Because you're right, his handles are second to Kyrie, and then
Ohtani is generational.
Yes, 100%.
Ohtani is like the definition of the word. Hell, Ohtani is shit. I mean, he's skip. I mean, we never saw Babe Ruth play, bro. We could hear about all the shit that he did. The bottom line is we didn't see it. You know, like we're watching this in real time, dude. Like it. Ohtani is arguably the greatest baseball player of all time already. Like people are already calling him the greatest, and I don't know, man. Like if I had to give, just kind of going through real quick for three sports: basketball, generational. I'd probably say Bron, Kobe, or Bron, Jordan, Shaq. Right, Shaq.
So let's.
Okay, we're kind of going down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah, no, we are, but it's a good rabbit hole, and I like it because when we're talking generational, do you need the results to go along with this, like championship and results? Are we talking about just straight talent on the field, generational? Because those are two different things.
That's a good question. I mean, I would think just straight talent. Like, but then if you're talking about straight talent, there's so many guys. Yeah, Mahomes for sure. But Mahomes is generating. Ooh, and I'm really glad that, like I said, we're gonna talk more NBA playoffs. I really want to touch some with you with football. Pause. Just so I get your take on it. So I was watching a take the other day, or a clip the other day. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're a football head. Monday Night Football, first play of the game. Vic airs out 60 yards to Deshaun Jackson against the Redskins at the Commanders. Don't cancel us. Boom. So somebody in the comments said, if Vic, I think I might have brought it up in the chat the other day. If Vic got trained, developed by Andy Reid, stayed out of trouble, and stayed healthy, he would be better than Mahomes. I was like, time out a little bit. Maybe I don't think you could automatically put him above Mahomes. Mahomes is special in his own right. But Vic, I think it would have been pretty close to 1A, 1B had Vic had that luxury. Well, not luxury. I mean, a lot of the shit he brought on himself, but, had his career gone as swimmingly as Mahomes. What do you think about that?
So that there's a lot to unpack with that question, right? Because Vic had the arm talent to make every single throw on the field. He had the athleticism to outrun 98% of the defenders in the league. So what it would boil down to is, correct, he would have to get developed and coached by Andy Reid, but also Vic would need to want that mindset that Mahomes has, that drive. Like, do you think Mahomes just wakes up, goes out on Sunday and just does what he wants? No, he's in the lab every single day.
Kelsey was telling a story. I want to say they were at like the parade or it was like something for like the girls, like a volleyball game, and Patrick Mahomes was on his shit just watching film. Like that's what, like you said, like I think you bring a really good point, and I think that definitely not a perfect homage, but a perfect a good way to respect Mahomes, because like you're right, it's more than about just we could say, oh yeah, if he had this, if he had the right mindset, but it takes a lot to have the right mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't just assume that like Mahomes not only is special for what he does on the field, he's special for the way he approaches the game. And
yes,
we can put the hypotheticals out there, like if Vic had that mindset, but like I don't know. I just feel like that question is disrespecting the fact that Patrick Mahomes has done everything right. You know what I'm saying? Like he's done everything right. Absolutely. He doesn't deserve us to be like, oh, well, if Vic had the right mindset. I mean, I guess, we could throw around the hypotheticals, but I guess what I'm trying to say is just like he doesn't deserve
it's disrespectful to Mahomes to throw up those hypotheticals.
Right. Like it's because at that point it's like shit. If I had the right mindset, I'd be in the fucking NBA.
Exactly.
And you'd be in the goddamn a horse jockey or something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know, man.
Excuse me?
Hey man, you said I look like I sell food stamps as a side hustle. Come on now.
I did say that, didn't I?
Somebody said I don't look like Riff Raff. I look like Scripps Grab.
I like that. Did they say that when you were under the bridge drinking a Four Loko with them?
I don't know. Hey, how does it feel to not be able to get on the roller coasters?
How's it feel to not be allowed 15 feet within a school zone?
All right, mixed reactions. That was a joke. I feel like you got to clarify shit like that when you say shit like I can't be around kids. I can totally be around kids. All right. Like
no, he can just with a court order. No, I'm kidding.
But I feel like this is your turn to be like mixed reactions. There's no base. This is a total joke because somebody's gonna listen to this. Somebody's gonna listen to this shit and be like, "Oh, I don't know. I know they're joking, but Ian got some in his closet." No, I don't have none in my closet.
He doesn't.
All right, thank you, Casey. I know, and I kind of just threw that. He said, "Excuse me." I know you sat the fuck out of the but yeah, man. Going back to the Mahomes
Ian,
thing.
This is your time to let him know that I'm not 5'2", you dickhead.
That's fair. Hey, man, but I don't care if you're 5'2", because when we made that creative team on College Hoops 2K8, you were banging. You led the nation in scoring and three-pointers. Like, you were 5'2", bro, and I still have the clip, I think, on Facebook of you just yamming on a dude from Portland State in the first round. Like, I tried to make a little creative team on 2K, like 20, whatever it was, but I could not figure out how to get the dudes on the team. But going back to the...
Anyways.
Yeah, no, it's just so... There's really only – you look at the grades of any sport, man. Like, the greats, Braun and Braun gets so much shit, man. Like Braun had
way too much
shit. Like it, and I can get it. He cries like a little. Sometimes I'm even like, LeBron, shut up. But his IQ of basketball, the people just think that like you said about Mahomes, people think LeBron just wakes up and scores 40,000 points. No, LeBron is spending $1 million a year on his body. He's probably outworking everybody. Rest in peace, Kobe. But and Kobe was, I'm sure, a harder worker than LeBron. But the point I'm trying to make is these dudes are
okay.
like they're still otherworldly work ethics. Still, to be that great, it doesn't matter if he made his whole marketing off that Mamba mentality. Even before that, we all knew that.
You say Kobe was a harder worker than LeBron?
He might have been. Shit. I mean,
I think they worked differently.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, differently. Like Kobe was more, I don't care if there's 5 people in my way, I'm going to push right through them. LeBron is like, no, I'm going to just dedicate myself 20 hours and I'm going to move right around them. I think that's kind of the difference between them. But I think all greats are great in their own right. But it's that special kind of mentality. A Shaq, I'm sure Shaq, like you think Shaq wasn't in the weight room? Shaq, I'm sure wasn't, he obviously had a lot less to compensate for it, being that he was so big. But
exactly.
You don't think that Shaq was out there. But like, you don't become that great at anything. You don't become a multimillionaire without busting your ass. I mean, to put it lightly.
Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree.
I mean, Jokic. People want to be like, Jokic doesn't even care about basketball. Like, I'm sure that man is out there. But, you don't become that great without putting in the work. That's all I'm saying.
Now let's cut to the meat and potatoes of this basketball segment here, because we've been going at this for about 35 minutes here. So, actually longer than that. Holy shit. Anyways, we have, like you said, we have a 2-2 series in 3 of the series, and then Boston sitting at 3-1. By next week, what do you expect the conference finals to look like? By this time next week, when we're doing our show, who are you expecting to be in the conference finals?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize how myself up you. Because by this time next week, all the Game 7s will have been played, right?
Yes.
If there was a game. Okay, so essentially, what are my conference final predictions? Dude, I don't know, man. Like the Knicks, what's the score of that game? Let me look before I give my Knicks one. Let me see the score of that game, but I'll go to the West first. Dude, I really do not want to count out Minnesota, but and I feel like
it's a must win for Minnesota tonight. It's a must.
I feel like Denver is the square pick. I feel like Denver is the safe pick, which kind of makes me want to stay away from it. But considering they got 2, dude, I don't know, man, because Minnesota's just. I'll get back to that one. Boston is going to be in there. Indiana is going to be in there. Dallas is going to be in there. And they're going to be playing. This is tough, man. I really am back and forth on this one. I think Minnesota gets it done in 7.
You think Minnesota gets? They're saying Minnesota in 7. So Minnesota's going to go to Denver and win a game 7. Are you high?
Will we be doing the show if I wasn't?
That's a good point. Anyways, I think Minnesota has to win in 6 if they're going to win the series. I don't think they can go to Denver and win a game 7 against that battle-tested of a team. I don't think that's going to happen. So my conference finals prediction, I have obviously Boston. I'm watching the Bruins-Panthers game right now, so I don't know the score of the Knicks-Pacers. That's your cue to tell me the score of the Knicks Pacers.
All right, hold on. I don't know, man, but I've lost like my last 5 bets. This shit's getting kind of depressing. Let me see. I'm trying to find my. There we go. New York Knicks score. 25-24 Pacers with 3 minutes left in the.
Knicks are trailing the Pacers 25-24 in the first quarter.
Did you catch that?
Okay. Yep. So I got Boston.
Like the playoffs, it's the momentum. The playoffs are a story. Like the way I've always seen the playoffs is like a book. Like the regular season, the book ends. The NBA playoffs is a whole nother season. Like round by round, you've got your quotes from the players talking trash. You've got one team winning unexpectedly. You've got another team you thought was going to be a favorite, just all of a sudden shit in the bed. Like there's so much twists and turns in the NBA playoffs. I love March Madness, like most exciting, first 2 days in sports. But bro, nothing compares to the NBA playoffs. To the best players in the world. The NBA is meant, baseball, basketball is meant to be played in a 7-game series. Like, it would be so, it would discredit the Boston Celtics so much if they go and they win 64 games this year, and then they just get cold and in one game and get kicked out the playoffs. Like, I love the fact that we have best of 7. I love the NBA playoffs, bro. It's a different storyline every night. Like, the NBA is such a league, and the NBA does such a good job at this. The NBA markets its individual or its stars. The NFL markets its teams. Like,
Absolutely.
the NBA does such a. I mean, Adam Silver is kind of a pushover. That's a story for another day. But the NBA, like, they do such a good job of marketing Curry, Tatum, like all these guys to where, oh my goodness, their legacy is on the line. I mean, really, the only NFL player that we talk about with legacy, like, is like Mahomes at this point. Like, I don't really hear, like, how will this affect Lamar Jackson's legacy? Like, we don't really get too into it.
I've heard that a few times.
I mean, I have a, yeah.
Actually, no, and I'm not even saying this in bias. Dak Prescott gets that all the time. And it's simply because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys. It's not because they're marketing Dak, though. It's for a different reason. It's because he's the quarterback of the Cowboys.
Right.
If he was the quarterback of the fucking Bengals, nobody would care.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I think that's just like you said, because the quarterback of the Cowboys, he's so polarizing. But I think the NBA does a great job with, like, Jason Tatum's legacy on the line tonight. Like, they do such a good job. They bring the view. Like, I get the NBA is soft now. You can say what you want, but if you say, I don't even watch basketball these days. Like, I respect it. I'm not saying everybody has to like it, but I think you're missing out because I don't want to see threes all day. Like, these dudes are great, bro. And it's like, I get that the defense might be a little bit lazier. I don't even think that it's lazier. It's like, guys just know, okay, the rules protect the offensive player. We don't have to exert every single ounce of energy on defense because we're going to need to score too. Like, the notion, I was watching the Celtic or the Cavaliers and the Pistons a few days ago for like the 05 conference finals. That shit was boring as fuck, bro. Don't get me wrong, I'm a basketball purist. I love defense. I mean, to an extent, bro, because it's just like, dude, like, there's no, like, I'm just watching it, like, outside of LeBron, it's like these dudes are just not, like, they don't have the bags. They don't have the ability to, like,
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm coming from with that.
That actually makes sense.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good playoffs, and let's see how the Boston Bruins are doing. Actually,
they're up 2-1.
Dude, it's crazy because, like, once the Golden Knights lose, people out here just stop fucking watching that shit. Like people we were talking about the other day, bro. People hate Vegas Golden Knight fans. Like, every comment section, which I kind of understand because they have been fucking amazing ever since. Like, they missed the playoffs once, dude. I think if Boston came here to play in the Stanley Cup final, it'd be a decent amount of Boston fans. So, like, Edmonton travels well out here. I'm sure the Bruins travel well out here. Blackhawks fans travel really good out here. But I don't know who. Matter of fact, let's just take a little transition. Who do you got in the Stanley Cup finals? Curveball.
Rangers and the Stars.
I mean, I want a Canada team to win it so bad. I mean, it'd be Rangers against Panthers.
Yeah,
when was the last
Rangers and Panthers in the Eastern Conference?
I mean, when was the last time the President's Trophy winner even won the Stanley Cup? I know it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't know that much about the NHL to answer that, to be honest with you.
Dude, Dallas has come up and started running or skating Colorado off the damn ice, man.
Ever since they were down 0-2 to Vegas, they have just been on a tear.
Different. Oh yeah, they were down 2-0 to Vegas, and my friend was like, Dallas isn't winning 2 games in the Fortress, and then I went and tagged them with the little, I think it was like the little sad violin after Dallas went up 3-2. But it's gonna be like, I don't know, man. Frozen 4 comes out here in a few years. Vegas is really taking a vested interest into hockey. Stanley Cup Finals, I don't know, man. Panthers have looked pretty good too. Rangers are gonna have home ice. I got Rangers versus Edmonton. I think Edmonton gets the upset, and I think Edmonton wins the cup. Connor McDavid gets his first ring.
He deserves it. He's the best player in the NHL.
Been the best player for fucking like 5 years at this point.
He's just a different beast.
Connor
It
Bedard
was-
is next up.
It was Sidney Crosby for so long. Like I love Ovechkin too. Don't get me
That's
wrong, but
generational.
Sidney Crosby is absolutely generational. He was the best player in the NHL for a long, long time,
And you
and he's
wanna
still
know
top 5.
And you want to know the crazy thing? Don't none of them even get brought. Well, I have heard people, used to bring up his name in comparison to Gretzky. They would get laughed out of the building. Point being, there's nobody that's in that conversation with the great
Not
one.
one, and nobody ever will be.
Do you think that would be good for hockey if they had somebody like Gretzky, because that dude was, I mean, shit, bro. Look how many people came to LA to watch hockey. You know what I'm saying? When he went there, so do you think that would be good for hockey? What was his name from Celebrini? He's gonna be nice.
Yeah, he is.
But yeah, man. What do you say? What do you
Move on
say
to
we
the question?
move on to the question? Yeah.
Well, Ian, I didn't have one prepared. I still don't have one prepared. So we're gonna go with this. What would you consider?
Oh, I had one. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Huh?
you have one? No,
Oh,
go for it.
sorry. I didn't even mean to cut you off, bro, because I thought you said I didn't have one prepared. You didn't have one. We'll just do 2 questions. I
Okay,
didn't mean
go
to cut
for
you
it.
off,
You
but
go
I
first.
do have one that I want to ask though. So you ask yours first.
No, you got it. Go first.
Oh, okay, for sure. If you had to, we'll go through mine kind of quick because I didn't mean to cut you off. But I did have a question. I just wanted to correct you if you said I don't have one, you don't have one. But if you had to reverse one sport, it doesn't have to be your favorite team. One sporting event result, what would it be? To alter the course of history, what would it be? I feel like I come with that fire weekly.
I don't know. We all asked really good questions. Like that sports conspiracy question I had was a really good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, that made me think. I was like, oh shit.
It's a really good question. What sporting event would I change? Damn.
There's so many of them with LeBron, Jordan. It's it would have happened eventually. That they would have.
Yeah. No. Exactly.
I got one.
What is it?
It has to do with my favorite team, but it would have drastically altered the course of NFL history had it not happened. Can you take any guesses?
It would have it has to do with your favorite team, and it would have drastically altered.
Drastically changed the sports landscape as we know it. If I give you the sport, it's going to be way too easy for you, I think.
I have one.
You can ask me for a few hints if you want, but I'm just not going to give you.
I have one in mind. Let me ask you this: what year did it take place?
I feel like that's just gonna.
Because I think I know what it is.
2002.
Rams beating the Patriots.
Yes, because
Yeah.
Brady probably wouldn't have started next year. And do the Patriots even have 6 championships right now?
Yeah, that's a really good one. Especially if you being a fan of that team. Mine.
It could be your favorite team. It doesn't have to be though.
No, I know. I'm trying to think of one that would be super beneficial for me. Okay, this is gonna sound crazy. And it's more out of a curiosity than it is an actual game. And mine would be that Tony Romo never got hurt in the preseason the year that Dak became the starter. Because I would like to see what Tony Romo could have done with that loaded of a team. Because they had by far the best offensive line in football. They had a rookie Zeke. They had a good defense. It's the first time that Romo would have had any of those things. Well, okay, 2014 they had a really great line in DeMarco Murray, but their defense was bad.
Romo got hurt, right? That's why they put Dak in?
Yeah, because Romo got hurt in the preseason. Dak started from game one and just, Dallas went. They lost the first game, then won 11 in a row. And so when
Wait,
Romo
they lost the first game that year?
Yep, in 2016 they lost the first game to the Giants, and then Dak won 11 straight.
And they got the 1 seed and they got bounced by Green Bay.
Yeah, and so I think that no question Tony Romo was a better quarterback than Dak at that time. And I personally, in my mind, still think Tony Romo is a better quarterback than Dak has ever been. And I don't even dislike Dak. I think Dak's a good quarterback, but Romo got so much hate. But what Cowboys fans, or real Cowboys fans and real football fans, understand is that Tony Romo was the only reason Dallas was even relevant and good for 95%
He gets so much
of the
hate,
time
man. Like, look at his numbers, bro. Like, people that don't watch the game just think he was a shitty ass quarterback.
He was so good, dude. Like, the only reason that he's not remembered as one of the greats is A, obviously he didn't win a Super Bowl, and B, because of the era that he was in. He was going against quarterbacks
Seattle?
like Tom Brady,
Oh, the era.
Peyton Manning, Philip Rivers, or not even Philip, I'm sorry, Drew Brees. Like, he had Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Like, he was going against guys who were
Big Ben.
Big Ben, that were all just a little better than him. Not even so much that they were a little better, they were a little more successful. Romo did so much on the field and was the only reason Dallas was good for so long.
Like, I'll just say it like this. Outside of Brady, in Romo's heyday, outside of Brady and Manning, if I was to be like, oh, you didn't get Brady and Manning as the guy to start your team with, but you got Tony Romo, you would just be like, all right, fuck it. I can build around that, right?
You could absolutely. And Dallas failed to build around Romo. And that's one of the biggest things. So to answer that, I would have Romo not get injured just to see what he would have done with that team.
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, we never know. I mean, hell, we might. And then if that didn't happen, not only would that have, seen how Tony Romo's career would have panned out, but that would have also, Dak wouldn't be the most polarizing quarterback in the NFL. I mean, because polarizing, like, Dak is the quarterback of the Cowboys. Like, that is.
It just comes like Romo was the most polarizing when he was there. Like, it's just when you're the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, it's different. And I hate to say that, and I don't want to seem like I'm like, oh, Dallas is this, Dallas is that. But it's different.
It's different even to be a quarterback of the Steelers. Like, that's America's team.
Yeah. It's because, Ian, I know you know a lot about football, so for anyone listening to Mixed Reactions who thinks I'm just being biased when I say this, Dallas is by far the most popular and the most hated team in the league, and it's not close.
I mean, it's out of all sports. It's not just football. They're like the most popular team in the world.
Yeah, they are. They generate the most money. They sell the most merchandise. They have the most games on national TV every single year. They have the most primetime games every single year. Like, it's not close. And so when you have that much media coverage, you're polarizing. It just is what it is.
If you guys don't play in the very first time slot on the East Coast, like, you're either playing in America's game of the week or a primetime game every single week.
Every single week. I can tell you, I think we played one game at 1 o'clock. 2 games. My apologies. 2 games at 1 o'clock Eastern time last season. One of them was against the Panthers. And do you know the other game, Ian? Mr. Blackwell? Do you know the other game they played 1 o'clock Eastern? Huh? Do you, Mr. Blackwell?
Against the Rams, where you guys were up like 24-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah, we blew the doors off, y'all.
I was wondering when you were bringing that. I was like, was that an early game?
Yeah,
it was, huh? Because I remember that one. I fucking turned that shit off like 5 minutes in, and I had to go to the store. I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna go get some chorizo. I'm not watching this shit.
Well,
didn't you guys like got like a pick six, like all types of shit?
Yeah, Deron Bland got a pick six, and then the very first drive of the game, Dak just down the field, caught, touchdown Dallas. It was fucking awesome.
What's your question?
Oh, okay. My question to you, Ian, is if you were the commissioner of any sports league, what's one rule change you would implement immediately?
I really wish we would have just gone with your question, because that's an amazing go first. Do you have an answer?
Mine would be, I would be the commissioner of the NFL, and one rule change that I would want to implement is I think you should be able to challenge any penalty. Because maybe not holding, just because that's such a, you could argue holding could be made on every
single call. Yeah,
on every single call. So maybe aside from holding, I would make it so you can challenge penalties. Not just the pass interference thing that they did a few years ago. Because there's some nip and tuck things that get called that truly alter the outcome of the game that I think should have some detrimental effects to it. Because there's sometimes when refs kind of impact a great game and it takes away from the
It's sad when that happens.
from the moment. You know what I mean? From the moment. Another one, if it would be tied, and because I would also want to be the commissioner of baseball, and I would take away the ump's ability to call balls and strikes. I would make it an automated system. Because look at Angel Hernandez. How many just outrageously bad calls
And
he's
he's
had
still
just
working.
this season alone, and he's still working.
Yeah, I think an automated system would be perfect. I don't know, man. I feel like everybody's just so scared to. I mean, because let the umpire call safe, but then where does it stop? It's like, okay, if we're gonna let him call balls and strikes, why are we not gonna put a umpire on first base for?
I get it. Like I said, this is a perfect world, my little crazy scenario. That's what I would want to change. So what about you? If you were the commissioner of one sports league, what would it be, and what rule change would you implement?
This is gonna sound absolutely wild because I was not prepared for this question. I would take.
I'd bring the best.
I would completely remove offsides from hockey.
Really?
That it would be absolutely terrible. What it is, I don't know, man. Like I feel like it would be terrible, but I also feel like it would set up a lot more exciting one-on-ones with the goalies. But
it would, but you'd have guys standing at the other side of the ice, like just chilling, waiting.
Because I was going through all the different sports, because football, there's so many rule changes I want to make but most of the rule changes I would want to make would kind of be counterproductive to what they're trying to do as far as safety. Okay, you know what? I know one. Fuck it. That offside shit was really stupid. Don't call a fucking roughing the pass. When the dude's body weight falls on top of don't call that shit. Yeah, that
goes to what I said. You'd be able to challenge it. Like,
dude,
you know what I mean? Like,
my whole thing is, it's like, bro, I get you're trying to make it safe, but basketball, I can understand it's not meant to be. And when you're putting a leg under somebody that's shooting the ball, that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. Yeah, you can hurt them severely.
But like that, dude, like the way I see it, like the running joke, why don't we just let them wear flags? Yeah, at this point, because there's only so safe that you can make a dangerous sport. What are we gonna do to boxing next? Oh, you hit him 3 times without him being able to I don't know.
See, I agree with protecting the quarterback too, because when he's in his motion, right, and he's got his whole rib cage exposed, like you can't go at his kneecap when he's making that throw because he can't protect himself at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I agree you have to protect the quarterback. They're the most vulnerable players on the field. But I agree with you as far as the body weight aspect. Don't call it when a defender accidentally lands with his body weight on the quarterback. Like, that's such a ridiculous roughing the passer call.
Because, dude, the thing is with some of those, man, and those, like we were talking about earlier, these called drastically alter. I mean, hell, that's what is that considered? I mean, that's an automatic first down. That's 15 yards.
Yeah.
Like, what was the fucking type of tackle that they're banning this year? The hip drop?
Yeah.
What is that exactly? I haven't looked it up. What is that? Because I'm not a huge football guy. That's like.
So in a sense, it's when you're behind the player, right? And you literally drop, you drop your hips. So you just collapse yourself basically, and your force brings him down, but his front momentum keeps forward. So kind of his knees and his calves pop.
I mean, it's football, dude. Like,
you
don't want to get tackled. Don't get tackled. Like, you see the guy behind you. I don't know, man. That shit is just so cause like I said, there's only it's a violent game, dude. I get it. Don't fucking aim for a guy's cranium. Don't fucking, like you said, quarterback's got his whole rib cage exposed. But it's like, dude, like it's tackling. At the end of the day, it's tackling. You're not leading with your helmet. I guess I could get it from the safety aspect, because like you said, they're essentially like the rug gets pulled out from under them in a sense, but opposite direction, I guess. And it's just I don't know, man. That's kind of ridiculous that they even they're implementing that. But I don't know, man. I think 10 years from now it's gonna be like, how long is the NFL gonna really last? I mean, we know the NFL's popularity, but dude, at this point, it's getting a little out of hand, bro. Like 20 years from now, are they even going to be allowed to tackle? Seriously. Or they're gonna have to we might I don't know about flag, bro. We really might be playing just an aggressive version of two-hand touch in 20 years.
Did you see the new rule that they're implementing this year for player option?
For football?
Yeah. So players, if they want to, are able to wear those guardian caps that they wear in practice.
Oh,
like the
I
linemen.
heard about that, bro. They're gonna look like fucking little
No
chupas,
one's
bro.
gonna do it.
I'm sure somebody will. They're gonna look dumb as fuck. Because those are for. But that just kind of goes back to the whole barbaric. Like, why? And I'm not even gonna preach. We're almost done. Why is football even a sport? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, I love football. You love football. But it's literally two grown men hitting each other at full speed, and people have died. Like, why is this even a sport?
It's a
You know what I'm
sport
saying? Like,
because
so if
we
you're gonna
love it,
keep it as-
Ian.
I love it too. Shit, I mean, I watch it every day with you. But at the same time, it's like if we're gonna keep it, we're gonna either keep it. I'm not as so barbaric to be like, yeah, everything's better in the old days, but why are we trying to change it so much? Like these guys are not having a gun put to their head and told them to play football. If they want to fucking take the
Oh,
risk
they
of
know
CTE
the risks.
for my entertainment, so be it. And I'm not even talking about CTE. Like I'm all for, my baby mama doesn't want my kid to play football just because of the whole head aspect. And I totally understand, but dude, like if you're playing a contact sport, there's gonna be a risk of injury. It doesn't matter if you ban the hip drop tackle, the body weight thing I was saying, like if you do that, like you're gonna get hurt playing
There's
football.
always
Like,
going to be injuries in football.
why not teach these guys how to avoid the injury instead of trying to take away a guy's ability to fight and make a tackle and stop a touchdown?
Exactly. I couldn't agree more.
That was a great take on that, Ian. I think that was a great show tonight. You had a good question. I had a good question. We had some killer topics when it came to the NBA. Like we said, next week when we do our show, it'll be the conference finals. We'll have a lot to discuss there. We definitely want to thank our 3 listeners who actually pay attention to the show. Anyone who ever wants to listen to Mixed Reactions, we please pray that you do. You're missing out on a great show if you're not. And frankly, if you don't listen to the show, you're a little bitch.
Yeah, no, I agree with Casey. And until next time, what's my favorite team?
Ian's Las Vegas Raiders.
Good night, Canada. The fuck,
I beat you too.
dude! I'm not. Let me wait to the. I just hit end, but I'm loading up YouTube, so it might take a second. So I'm gonna beatbox.
But all right, man, I gotta head out. But that was a great show.
Okay, yeah. Wait, give me one. I want to ask you something real quick. Let me hit the
Okay.
stop recording. I got you. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. I know you gotta go. I just need to ask you something.
Yeah, you
It's not no dumb shit. Hold on. Fuck. Do you see recording on your end anymore?
I'm not on Skype through my TV. I'm watching the game.
Oh, okay.
I always do that when we do our show. I always have a game on in the background.
You think I should cut that part I was talking about the Knicks out? I really did say that on Facebook,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, do it. You need to.
Okay. Yeah. Fuck. I mean, I don't even know how to really. I mean, I can go into Audacity. Do you remember what point of the show it was that I said it?
Probably
Like
about
midway?
45 minutes in.
It was when we were talking about basketball. Yeah, bro. I fucking.